Have you ever caught yourself wondering if you're doing okay for your age? Maybe it's during a quiet morning when you're sipping your tea, or after a walk when you still feel steady on your feet. It's easy to worry as we get older. People around us talk about slowing down, about aches and forgetfulness, about how everything changes after 70. And sure, some things do change, but not all of it is downhill. In fact, you might be doing far better than you think. See, aging well isn't just about what the mirror shows or what your last checkup said. It's about the quiet, everyday signs that your body and mind are still working with you, not against you. These signs don't always shout, they whisper. They show up in the rhythm of your day, in the way you move, the way you think, and even the way you sleep. And if you're over 70 and still doing some of these things, that's not just a good sign, it's a powerful one. So let's talk about those signs. Not from a doctor's chart or a magazine article, but from the small, real moments of life that tell you your body, brain, and spirit are still very much in the game. Let's start with something we often take for granted until it starts going sideways: sleep. Now, I'm not just talking about getting 8 hours. That's great, of course, but what really matters more than anything is consistency. If you're someone who tends to go to bed and wake up around the same time every day, whether it's 9 p.m. and 5:30 a.m., or 11 to 7 o'clock, you're doing something truly remarkable for your health. You might not think of it this way, but a regular sleep rhythm is like giving your body a reliable maintenance schedule. It helps keep your immune system strong, your mood stable, your memory sharp, and even your heart healthier. And what's more, it tells your internal clock, your circadian rhythm, that it's still got a clear routine to follow. That's something that gets harder with age, but it's also more important than ever. Take Gerald, for example. He's 85 and still takes his evening routine seriously. He winds down with a little reading, gets into bed by 9:30, and wakes up without an alarm by 6. He doesn't need long naps during the day, and he rarely feels sluggish in the morning. He says the key isn't being rigid, it's being reliable. That quiet discipline gives his body the rest it needs to stay strong day after day. So if you're someone who wakes up refreshed, doesn't rely too heavily on coffee to get going, and doesn't toss and turn all night, you're giving yourself a powerful edge. That kind of sleep pattern isn't just good, it's a sign that your body is aging well. And speaking of how your body moves through the day, let's talk about something else that often goes unnoticed until it changes: your walking pace. It might sound simple, even silly, but the way you walk says more about your overall health than many of us realize. You see, walking isn't just about your legs. It's about coordination, brain function, heart health, lung capacity, balance, all working together in a smooth rhythm. And when that rhythm is strong, confident, and steady, it's a sign that everything under the hood is still humming along nicely. If you're over 70 and you're still walking with purpose, not necessarily fast, but steady and unafraid, that's a beautiful thing. It means your body still trusts itself. Your mind still feels connected to your steps. That alone can reduce your risk of falls, keep your heart stronger, and even extend your life. Think about Linda, a retired teacher who's 77 and still walks to her neighbor's house every day, rain or shine. She doesn't power walk or break a sweat. She just walks with intention. No shuffling, no clinging to walls, no second-guessing herself at the curb. Her steps say, "I've got this." And that kind of daily movement, it's not just good exercise, it's proof that her mind and body are still communicating clearly, still working as a team. Doctors often say they can tell a lot just by watching how a patient walks into a room. And they're right. Because when your gait changes, when it becomes slow or unsteady, it can sometimes be an early sign that something deeper is changing. But if you're still walking strong, still getting out there on your own 2 feet, you're doing more than staying mobile. You're giving your brain, your bones, and your heart a reason to keep going. So take a moment to notice how you walk. Not just if you can, but how you do it. Do you still feel confident when you move across the kitchen? Can you still go out for a stroll without feeling unsure of your steps? If so, that's not just a blessing, it's a message. A message that your body is still holding steady, still showing up for you every day. And it's that quiet steadiness, that reliability in both your sleep and your movement, that lays the foundation for everything else. Because once your body knows it can trust itself, everything else becomes possible. Now, let's talk about something that doesn't always get the attention it deserves, but it plays a huge role in how well we age. And that's mental sharpness. Those little moments when your memory kicks in just when you need it. When you remember where you put your glasses without tearing the whole house apart. When you can follow a conversation easily, recall someone's name after years, or make decisions with confidence. These may seem like everyday things, but they're actually big signs that your brain is still in great shape. One of the most encouraging signs of aging well is when your mind still feels active and alert. Not perfect, let's be honest, everyone forgets a name here and there, but sharp in a way that helps you stay connected, involved, and in control. If you're still curious, still learning new things, still enjoying puzzles or reading, or even just keeping up with the news, you're doing your brain a tremendous favor. Think about it like this: your brain is a muscle, and the more you use it, the more it stays in shape. So when you're engaging in hobbies, conversations, or anything that gets those wheels turning, you're not just passing time, you're protecting your future. Let me tell you about Ruth. She's 79 and absolutely obsessed with crosswords. Every morning after breakfast, she tackles a new one. Not because she has to, but because she loves it. She says it keeps her thinking, keeps her brain on its toes. And when her grandkids show her how to use a new app on her phone, she doesn't get frustrated, she gets curious. That mindset, that willingness to stay mentally active, that's not just inspiring. That's longevity at work. So if you're someone who's still interested in the world, still asking questions, still remembering important details, and making decisions for yourself, you're doing something incredibly right. Mental engagement is one of the clearest signs that you're aging not just well, but vibrantly. And right alongside that mental energy comes another subtle but powerful sign. You still find joy in your day. Not the big dramatic joy we see in movies or hear about in speeches, but the quiet kind. The kind that sneaks up on you when you sip your coffee and watch the birds outside. Or when you laugh at something silly your neighbor said. Or when you finish a puzzle, fold warm laundry, or sit on the porch and feel the breeze. Joy, even in small doses, is a sign of emotional health. It tells you that your heart is still open, that you're still engaged in the present moment. And that's a huge part of aging well, being emotionally connected, not just going through the motions. We often underestimate how important our emotional health is, especially as we get older. Life changes a lot after 70. Friends move, families get busy, routines shift. And yet, if you still find reasons to smile, to be grateful, or to look forward to tomorrow, that's resilience. That's strength. That's emotional wisdom at work. Take Harold, who's 82 and lost his wife a few years ago. He went through a tough patch like anyone would. But he didn't close himself off. He started gardening. He joined a local group that meets once a week just to share stories and coffee. And one day, he told me something I'll never forget. He said, "You don't stop living just because someone you love is gone. You find new corners of joy." That right there. That's the spirit of aging well. If you're waking up most days with a sense of purpose, even if it's something simple, you're doing better than you think. Aging well isn't about constant happiness. It's about being emotionally steady. It's about still finding meaning, still caring, still loving life in your own way. And that brings us to one more quiet but powerful sign: you're staying socially connected. Now, this doesn't mean you have to be at every event or constantly surrounded by people. But if you still enjoy a good phone call, look forward to chatting with a neighbor, or feel a sense of connection with someone, even a pet, you're tapping into one of the strongest predictors of healthy aging. Social connection protects you more than most people realize. It helps with mental clarity, emotional balance, and even physical health. People who feel connected tend to have stronger immune systems, lower blood pressure, and better sleep. But it's not about quantity. It's about quality. Even just one or two solid relationships can make a huge difference. Maybe you have a friend you've known for 40 years, and you still check in with each other every week. Maybe it's your grandchild you text with, or your neighbor you share tomatoes with in the summer. Or maybe you've built a whole new community in a way you never expected, like joining an online group, a book club, or a local class. Social bonds remind us that we matter, that we're not alone, that someone out there knows our name, our story, our favorite way to make soup. That kind of connection doesn't just make life sweeter, it helps us live longer too. So if you're someone who still reaches out, who still shares, who still listens and laughs and leans in, you're aging with grace, strength, and heart. And really, that's what it's all about. Aging well after 70 doesn't mean avoiding every wrinkle or ache. It means waking up and still feeling like yourself, still thinking clearly, still enjoying life, still connecting with the people who matter. And when those things are in place, you're not just aging, you're thriving. Now, while we've talked about the mind, the heart, and our relationships, there's another sign of aging well that often goes unnoticed until it doesn't work right. And that's your mobility. Being able to move through your day with confidence, balance, and enough strength to do what you need to do. That's a powerful sign your body is still on your side. Let's be honest, after 70, it's not about running marathons or lifting heavy weights at the gym. It's about being able to get out of bed without needing help, to take a walk without worrying about falling, to carry a bag of groceries, climb a few stairs, or simply stand at the stove and cook your favorite meal. When your body can still support you in those small, everyday moments, that's not just physical health, that's independence. That's freedom. I once met a gentleman named Paul who told me, as long as I can put my own socks on, I feel like I'm doing okay. And you know what? He's absolutely right. Mobility isn't about looking young. It's about living fully. If you're still moving with purpose, even if it's a little slower, you're aging beautifully. Maintaining that strength and balance doesn't mean you have to start some extreme exercise routine. Sometimes it's as simple as stretching each morning, walking around your garden, or doing a few light leg lifts while you watch the news. The goal isn't to push, it's to preserve. To keep your muscles active, your joints loose, and your confidence steady. And the bonus. Movement doesn't just help your body. It helps your mind, your mood, even your sleep. It's like a gentle reminder from your body that says, I'm still here. Let's keep going. Now, the final sign I want to talk about today is one that comes from deep inside. It's not something you see in a mirror or feel in your bones. It's something you know. And that's a sense of purpose. Purpose is that quiet fire inside you that says, I still have something to offer. It's what gets you out of bed in the morning, what keeps you looking forward to something, even if it's small. It might be caring for a pet, tending to a garden, volunteering, writing letters, praying, sharing stories with your grandchildren, making someone laugh, just being present for someone who needs you. Purpose doesn't have to be big or flashy. It doesn't have to impress anyone. It just has to matter to you. And when it does, it changes the way you age. People with a strong sense of purpose tend to live longer, feel more fulfilled, and cope better with the challenges that come with growing older. I remember hearing about a woman named Estelle, who was 93 and living in a small community. Every day, she knitted little hats for newborns at the hospital. She said, I may not be able to do everything I used to, but I can still help someone feel warm and welcome in this world. That's purpose. That's aging well. That's living with meaning, no matter the number on your birthday cake. So if you wake up each day with something to care about, something that lights a little spark in your soul, you're not just getting older. You're continuing your story. And that story still has so much value. When you combine all these signs, mental clarity, emotional steadiness, strong social ties, physical mobility, and a sense of purpose, you get something truly beautiful, a life that's still growing, still giving, still vibrant. That's what aging well looks like. It doesn't mean every day is easy, but it does mean you're meeting each day with strength, wisdom, and grace. You may not always see it in yourself, but those around you, they notice. Your resilience, your laughter, your kindness, the way you keep showing up for life, even when it throws a few curveballs. That matters. And it's a reminder to all of us that getting older doesn't mean fading away. It means stepping into a new season with all the richness it has to offer. So if you've recognized even one or two of these signs in your own life, give yourself credit. You're doing better than you think. You're not just aging, you're aging well. And if there's something you're still working on, that's okay too. Growth doesn't stop at 70, 80, or even 90. There's always room for new beginnings, for healthier habits, for brighter days ahead. I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing in your life that makes you feel like you're aging well? Maybe it's your morning walk, your favorite hobby, or the way you laugh with a friend. Share it in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else. And if this video encouraged you or gave you a fresh perspective, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more tips, stories, and support for living your best life after 60. Because aging isn't the end of the story. It's just a new chapter. And trust me, it can be one of the most meaningful ones yet. Here's to you, your strength, your wisdom, and the beautiful life you're still creating every single day.